the poem of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." "'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the fireside with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled.
The chestnut forks and silence fell down. The chestnut forks and silence fell down. The chestnut forks.
And soon he made a snow child, a beautiful child with long hair made out of snow, dressed in the finest of clothes. And Maria smiled, and now a tear ran down her cheek, but it was with happiness to see her husband behaving like a child. And she went over to this small snow child, and she bent
Night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and
grown-ups as well, you're allowed to join in. It goes like this. What does a dog say? Woof, woof, woof. Try it. What does a dog say? Woof, woof, woof. And what does a cat say? Meow, meow, meow. And what does a mouse say? Squeak, squeak, squeak. But what does Santa say? Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! Very good. Everybody thought that this dog belonged to them. Everybody make a dog like this. Everybody thought that this dog belonged to them. But the dog had no master whatsoever. And this dog lived underneath a bridge. And one day the snow was coming down. Everybody, hands in the air, do it now. The snow was coming down. You know Dasher, Dancer, Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid, Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. The shoemaker was old and he was cold. I said he was old and he was cold. You ready? He was old and he was cold. I'm so pleased we are not singing the carols. He was old and he was cold. And
deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, la 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 la.
now, Uther Pendragon was a fine king. Now, I've got to tell you something. I love the fact that the sign for the Mobot is also the sign for a king. But Uther Pendragon was a fine king, good and noble. And I will tell you something. He had many friends. And Uther Pendragon would make sure that everyone did what Uther Pendragon wanted to by having a sword and by the might of his arm.
Well, Jesus Christ was in those ships, was in those ships, was in those ships. Jesus Christ was in those ships on Christmas Day in the morning. Here we go. I saw 3 ships come sailing in, come sailing in, come sailing in. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. I saw 3 ships come sailing in, sailing in, sailing in. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning.
Now, Fritz and Clara lived in a beautiful house, a huge house. They had their own rooms, they had a nursery, and they had a room that was filled with toys. And as it came closer towards Christmas, they would take a tree, and all of the time they would use that to help their mother and father to make sure that the tree was beautifully dressed. And right at the top of the tree, they would not put an angel, but they would take a sugared plum. They'd take a sugared plum that they had dressed up like a fairy, and they would place it right at the top of that tree. I'm watching you. Please let me sleep on your doorstep tonight. I'm homeless and cold, and the snow's falling white. The fire through your keyhole looks cozy and bright. So please let me sleep on. Babushka lived in Russia. She was an old woman, and she loved the way that her house was dressed the best that anyone had ever seen. Everything had its place, and a place for everything inside of that house. And she was so proud of her house being the best.
God bless all, God friends all, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Merry Christmas and a Happy Merry Christmas and a Happy Merry all, a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Merry Christmas.
To you and your kin, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some. We won't go until we get some.